Hey, Kevin, you guys have been a part of, you and your career have been a part of a lot of comeback wins, but you had the big comeback win last week against OKC. From your perspective, when you look at like the most crucial qualities of a comeback win, what are they?
I think just, especially being the end of our road trip, second night of a back-to-back, I believe 5 games in 7 days, we were just trying to manufacture energy, and sometimes when you do that, that fixes a lot of problems. Almost faking it until you make it out there with that type of a effort. But we picked it up in the second half. Defensively, we strung together a ton of stops in a row, and we always talk about it here. We play really hard and we play defense, and when we do that, we give ourselves a chance. So, no matter if we're up double digits, down double digits, we always feel that we could put ourselves in position to win the game, and we felt like we did that in a game where we were just trying to find our legs and find our energy.
And then, look, I know you've been asked about it a ton, so I apologize in advance for asking it again, but we're doing that last push for All-Star voting. Today's the last day. In your eyes, just what makes Darius Garland and Jarrett Allen both so deserving of being an All-Star?
Consistency, efficiency, their willingness to sacrifice for the team, and still put up great numbers for us. JA is, every single night played hard, gotten us double doubles, damn near shot 70% from the field, and allowed us to, play off of him, and in some cases play through him. So he's an all-star in my eyes. Darius, especially in his last 6 weeks, has been phenomenal, but consistent for us the entire year, getting better. And in my eyes, both of those guys are sure shot all-stars. I've seen a lot of all-stars, played against a lot of played in a lot of all-star games. Those guys, especially represented here in Cleveland, are no doubt all-stars in my mind.
Thank you so much, Kev.
Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com. Hey, Kev, how are you?
Good.
Hey, as somebody who had to sacrifice when you first came to the Cavs, and you've continued to make sacrifices, what have you told Lowry specifically about the sacrifice that he's made for the betterment of the team in terms of changing his position, and any tips on how to handle that?
Yeah, I think just understanding that it's going to be a process. I've kind of told him that, even when I got here, that, kind of changing my role in a lot of cases, how I played and how I was used takes time. For me, it really took probably just slightly over a year for me to really settle in and not be myself personally, but in my game, understand what the differences are and how I can be effective to put our team in a position to win a title. So for him, playing the three, especially every single night, different matchups, how we're defending, it's not his natural position, but in understanding that sacrifice and getting better and doing the film work and, just continuing to leverage himself in a way that's going to help us is going to pay off long-term. And I think Lowry understands that. You're seeing him having more consistency now, and finding his shots and taking advantage of smaller players, but just continuing to grow out of that role and, just continue to stay confident that he's going to, figure it out when he's playing that 3-man, which he hasn't done really his entire life. And when he, is playing the 4, is playing a spacing 5 or defending 5s or 4s, switching off on the 3s and 2s and 1s, that he's just, giving us so much more on both sides of the ball that's going to continue to work for us. And I think hopefully we keep trending how we are in the way that we're going, and come playoff time, that's going to be a major, major luxury for us.
And you mentioned with JJ Redick that this is the most fun that you've had with a team since 15-16. What does having fun mean to your game?
I think that I talked about it with Serena, like it's just gives me a lot of energy. I think gives this group a lot of energy, and I think the reason, all of us are having so much fun is that, we're a big share the wealth type of team. We, obviously play through DG and JA and Evan, but outside of that, everybody wants to make the right play. We don't want to let anybody else down. So I think that's what beautiful basketball, winning basketball. Obviously, winning cures a lot. But I think guys that want to get better, come to work every single day, sacrifice for each other. That is, playing meaningful basketball, I think makes us all really happy, myself included.
We talked to JB about this the other night in Chicago, Kevin. Last year, you guys got off to a good start, and it didn't last. It was derailed by a bunch of different factors. But you've also dealt with a lot throughout the course of this year, and you've overcome that, and you haven't allowed that to derail you guys. Why has it been different this year than maybe in years past, and why have you been able to sustain through everything that you've dealt with as a group?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to pinpoint one thing, but I think, belief in what we're doing out there, belief in JB, our coaching staff, and, obviously with Colin going down and Ricky going down, we've had pretty much everybody out with COVID and getting returned to play. I mean, I think that's, pretty much the case across the league, but I think that we have dealt with adversity, I should say, in a really good way. And I think that's part of the growth of a good team. We've found how to win games where we've been down double digits, like against Oklahoma City team. We've done well with success. There's been times where we didn't necessarily start the game, or maybe the third or fourth quarter in a great way, but we found a way to win tough basketball games against some really good teams. So I think, and understanding that even when we have guys down and out, just staying above water, we put ourselves in a good place, but trusting in our system, understanding that we play really hard. And if we defend, we put ourselves in a good position, no matter who's out there every single night. So if we have that mindset, we know that when we're healthy, we can be a very, very good basketball team.
A lot of the guys talked coming into this year, Kevin, about feeling like underdogs and having that chip on their shoulder. And Darius said yesterday, though, that he feels like now there's a target on your guys' back, and now teams are noticing you and paying more attention to you. In any way, do you have to shift the mindset from that underdog mentality now to a team that's targeted?
No, I don't think so. I think slowly we're gaining teams' respect and respect around the league. But I think that's more than anything what we wanted as a team coming into the years, is to show that we are capable of being a team that can play postseason basketball and can work their way into that group. I think, teams are going to continue to start noticing that we are one of the teams in the East that has a chance to make some noise here in the second half of the season. But, I think that underdog mentality is something that you either have or you don't. And this team certainly does, especially, with our core group and guys that are going to come in and, play minutes, and guys that are working their way into that next man up type mentality. I think, throughout, just that identity for us and culture has been huge for us and not been forced. It's just kind of who we are and the cloth of who we are.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Rafa Hernandez Brito, Cavs Spanish Radio. Kev, you were talking about the 6-game road trip and the 5 games in 7 days. And if you add to that the home road game we had against Brooklyn, and then another road game in Chicago. These 2 last days that we have with no games, I know you, with your experience, you know exactly what to do with your body and have to take care of yourself. But is that something as a vet that you talk to the young guys about, to take advantage of, of those 2 days off, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, we see it on the road too. It's, we have seldom had our shoot arounds on the road now, but that are professionals. And it's amazing to see, Doe or Ed or myself, the friends or the guys in their rookie year, like they're coming and getting their work in. I mentioned earlier, nobody on the team wants to let that next man down. So we're doing everything we can preparation wise, film wise, away from the floor. And that's not just talk, it's not just words. We're truly doing that. So, we have our facility here at home. We come in and use everything that we can, even on off days. Guys are making sure they're getting their proper rest and taking care of themselves, but we know that it's a grind. And I talked about in my previous answer, like wanting to play postseason basketball and even more meaningful basketball than we're playing now. We got to do our work early and take care of ourselves for the better of the team.
Thanks, man.
Anything else over Zoom from anybody else? Serena, you got one last one? I see your hand up.
I do, Kevin. It's just going back to that you don't want to let guys down, that you keep mentioning, teammates keep mentioning, Coach JB has mentioned it. Is that something that is maybe less common than fans or people would realize it is being in the NBA, just like that overall feeling of not wanting to let anybody on your team down?
Yeah, no, I think, kind of as Chris alluded to, like, talking to JJ or just guys around the league or some of my peers or guys that have retired, the enjoyment of this group. I mean, it definitely started last year. And for me, like just being healthy and just more in the day to day and being out there on the floor, obviously is different than, imparting myself with words or, different things throughout the course of the season. Like, I think, everybody is learning to use their voice. Everybody, is making, we always say one more together, all that stuff. Like, we're not only talking the talk, but we're walking the walk as well. And, and get back to what I was saying, like, 15, 16, you have championship teams, obviously have high expectation, but, you don't get to that level with, being together in some way, shape or form. And we were a very, very close team in 15, 16 and beyond that, with that personnel that we had. But, here you can just feel that we have a special group of high character individuals and really good communicators as well. And you see that from, Evan, who just turned 20 years old, all the way through to Doe. And it's a beautiful thing to see because, you don't get that often. So it's really fun. I mentioned just wanted to like bottle that up. There's going to be ups and downs throughout a season. Sometimes, things are going to get shifted. Guys like Colin and Ricky are going to go down, but it's how we pick each other back up. So I think it's a beautiful thing in sports. And for me, it almost feels like, I get to be a 33-year-old college kid again with these guys. I'm not saying because of youth, just because like, it's almost like in a college season, like you lose one game, you feel like it's the end of the world. And not to say that, I haven't learned in my 14 years that, you have to take the losses on the chin and fail quickly. But, just that continuity and that togetherness of the team is pretty cool to see.
Thank you so much, Kevin.
Thanks.